Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to draft a milkmaid top. So let's get started guys. So right now I'm marking out this straight line here because my pattern is not straight, so I'll be taking my measurements from this line. So I'll be taking in my bust point measurements, under bust and half length. After taking this line, I'll go ahead to connect it in a straight line. So right now guys, I'll come to the top here. I'll measure my shoulder divided by 2, which is 7. Then I'll come down by 1 inch and I'll connect it to make my shoulder slope. From that 1 inch, I'll be marking in my armhole, which is 7. Then I'll go ahead to connect it in a straight line like this. You can see what I'm doing. So now the armhole line, I'll go ahead to connect it in a straight line. So guys, after I'm done with this, I'll come over to this part to mark. This is my chest line, bust point, under bust and half flex. I'm just actually making a basic body here. I always do this to all my videos. You can check out some of my other videos. So right now guys, I'll come over to the armhole line. I'll measure the middle of the armhole, come in by half an inch. Then at this area here, I'll come out by 1 inch. What else I'm going to do? I'll measure my bust divided by 4. That is what I just marked right now. Now go ahead to connect these 3 dots in a curve to form my armhole. So guys, right now I'll come over to this line here. I'll start measuring my nipple to nipple line. My nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 4. So I'll go ahead to mark it here. You can see what I'm doing. So mark yours the same way. So at this nipple to nipple line, I'm going to come out by half an inch at the both sides. Come out by half an inch at the both sides to create your darts. For this pattern here, I won't be really making use of this dart. I'm just going to use it to get my under bust. That is why I'm making it. So right now guys, I'm going to come to this under bust here. It's time for me to get the cup area for this milkmaid top. So I'll come over to my under bust line. This part I'm pointing right now, come up by 1 inch. You can see what I just at the center front, came up by 1 inch. Then I'm going to be connecting it to meet the dart line. So you can see what I'm doing. So do yours the same way. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, put on the notification bell, like, share, comment, tell me what you think about this. So from this area, I'll place my taper on my dart line. I'll measure my nipple to nipple. That is what I just did there. And I'll mark it a dot and then curve it, connecting it to the armhole. You can see what I did here, so do use the same way. Your nipple to nipple divided by 2, that is what you're going to mark out. Then curve it out just the way I did before. So from this part here, I'm just going to curve it to blend it into the center front of my chest line. You can see what I just did. The way I pointed it, that is the way I'm going to curve it out. And this is what I meant. You can see what I'm doing. So go ahead and do yours the same way. So guys, this is my cup right now. I'll go ahead to start taking my body measurement. My bust divided by 4 is 9.5. Then I added in 1.5 inches sewing allowance. And then I came over to the waist here. I measured my waist, which is 8 plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance. I will not be adding a dart allowance because I will not be taking away this dart. I only use it to get my cup. And I'll go ahead to curve it in to connect the line, the dots to form my shape. You can see what I'm doing here. So this part I use this marker are the side that I'll be using for this front pattern. Now go ahead to connect this armhole area together. So guys, this is what my front basic pattern is looking. I'll go ahead to this part here. I'm not going to be stitching it down because I did not add any dart allowance. But if you're going to be adding a darts here, you need to add a dart allowance. If you're going to make use of your dart, you need to add a dart allowance. So right now I'm going to come over to this paper here. I went ahead to mark out the starting line where I will be placing my front piece to get my back, because this is the back pattern here. I'll place my front piece like this. You can sort something, I'll pin it down. I'll use my front piece to get my back. Then after pinning, you see that you have a slant area here. It is okay. It should be in a slant. The front should be in a slant. So I'll go ahead to mark out my zipper allowance. This is actually optional. It depends on how many inches you want for your zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead to mark it out. This is my zipper. Then I'll come over to this part here and I'll trace it out. I'm going to use the front to trace out my back. Then I'll go ahead to mark out this line here, and then I'll trace this armhole area. That is all I'm going to trace for now. I'll take out my front piece and then I will connect these lines. So right now, this is what I'm going to do. So I need to pay attention here. I'm going to be connecting this armhole area to the zipper allowance. Look at the way I'm going to be doing it. So it depends on what you want. You can actually make it to be straight, but I decided to make mine to be curved. So this is what it looks like. And then for the darts, it depends on if you want to add a dart to your back. Just the way I said for the front, if you decide to add a dart, then you add your dart allowance. And so right now, this is the dart here. I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to first of all connect my zipper. This is the zip allowance here, so don't forget. So I wrote it down as zip. And for this dart here, I'm just going to go ahead to just connect it, so to just have that dart line there, because I will not be making use of it. But if you're going to use a dart, you know that you have to add your dart allowance, and when you are done cutting, you have to take in your dart. But I did not add any dart allowance to this pattern, so I will not be making use of any darts. Then I'll go ahead to cut it out. So guys, after cutting, this is what my back looks like. So right now, this is the cup for my front, because I also work on the cup. So I'll go ahead to cut out this area like this. That's what I'm doing. So go ahead and cut yours the same way. So after cutting this area, I'm going to come over to this cup. I'm going to be marking out 1 inches for the slash and spread method for this cup. It depends on how many inches you want. You can go for 2 inches or 1.5, but I'll be using 1 inch for the slash and spread method. Then I'll go ahead to connect all those 1 inch in a straight line. So when that part that I connected it, the lines, that is where I'll be slashing it from. So I'll go ahead to label this 1, 2, 3, 4. So the green part is the top, while this part I'm labeling right now is the down area, so I don't get confused. You need to label it. Then I'll go ahead to cut all this out. You can see what I'm doing. So go ahead and cut yours out. We'll be using it to slash to spread this cup, so that we could have that gathers effect in the front of the top. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So this is what it looks like here. This is the reason why you should label it, so that when it's on pieces, you'll be able to understand where each pattern stays. So right now, I'm going to go ahead to connect this paper here. I have a straight edge, but this area is not straight, so I went ahead to use my marker and mark out a straight line. So I'll be placing my pattern, the cup area that I just slashed, on top of this pattern. I'm going to place 1 first, then I'll pin it down. So the distance from 1 and 2 is going to be 1.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead to mark it, and then at that 1.5 inches, I'm going to be placing the 2, the pattern number 2. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And then I'll go ahead and pin it down. Then I'll also take another 1.5 inches different distance from 2 and 3. I'll keep on doing it like that till I get to the last pattern. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is what I'm doing right here. I need to spread this very well. So if you can even spread it more than this, it depends. Remember that the more you spread it, the more fuller the cup is. So I'll go ahead to connect this like this. You can see what I'm doing. Just go ahead and trace out the bottom area like this, because we'll be using these down parts that we spread to cut out the cup. I hope you understand what I'm saying. In this area too, you're going to go ahead and trace it out. That's what I'm doing. Then you're also going to trace out the top area like this. After you're done tracing it out, then go ahead and cut it out. So guys, this is what my slash and spread pattern looks like. Right now, I'm going to be using this pattern to cut out on my fabric. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So right at this point, I'm just going to make out a little curve like this. You can see the way I'm doing it just for the armhole area. This is why I'm making this little curve. Then go ahead and cut it out. So guys, this is the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this pattern. See you in my next video. Bye.